Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome back to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So the character we created for today's video is known as Xylosaurus. So we're going to this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well. But before doing any of that, do be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. But alrighty, with that all out of the way, let's get into the character concept for Xylosaurus. So previously in our Poppy Playtime character concept series, we've been going through all the musical dinosaur toys here at the factory. The last dino character we met was Brontaflute. This mad Brontosaurus toy was desperately trying to destroy the player. Their creepy snake-like body slithered its way all throughout the factory. In the end, the player had a final showdown with Brontaflute and blew his body to pieces. Now they advance further into this secret research facility, but they're about to find a deep secret that's waiting to surface, and they'll find out what it is soon enough. But for now, let's meet our next musical toy dino, and the next character is known as Xylosaurus. Xylosaurus is a mixture between the aquatic dinosaur, the Mosasaurus, and the instrument, the xylophone. She was meant to be a part of the musical dino collection, but never really made the cut. Just like Brontaflute, Xylosaurus soon became a forgotten toy, but the researchers still performed their cruel experiments on her. She received multiple doses of SM-27, and like all the other toys, her body regenerated again and again, but it got to the point where her body started to drastically mutate. The researchers could no longer contain her and kept her in a special holding cell. So, considering Xylosaurus is an aquatic dinosaur, she was actually designed to be a toy that could swim in water. So, her specific holding cell was actually filled with water. She'd be able to swim around freely as much as she pleased, but none of the workers would ever dare go near her cell. It was far too dangerous, and there was a very good chance she'd attack them from the water's surface. So now Xylosaurus is left to swim around her cell to this day, and our main protagonist is about to encounter this dangerous aquatic dino. Speaking of, we now return back to the player. After dealing with Brontaflute, they now find themselves travelling through the last air vent. As far as they're concerned, they've almost reached the exit. They just need to get through this last air vent and they'd be out of this horrible research lab. But little did they know, they would be terribly wrong. Moments later, the thin metal air vent collapses underneath them. They fall right through and plummet to the ground beneath. But luckily for the player, they land in a large body of water. Thankfully, this water has broken their fall, but only seconds later, they realise that being in this water is the last thing they want to do. A large shadowy body swims past the player, and it's revealed to be Xylosaurus. The player quickly jumps out of the water and onto one of the platforms. Xylosaurus leaps out of the water and tries to attack them. Any sooner and the player would have been eaten whole. What is this place? It seems to be a large container of water. And more importantly, what on earth was that creature that tried to devour them? Was this area made just specifically for this strange swimming toy? Regardless, they need to find a way out of here and fast. They can see an exit to this cell further down across the water. The player can walk on the platforms, but there would be some areas they would need to swim through. And with Xylosaurus swimming around, that might not be possible. The player needs to find a way to distract her whilst they make their getaway. And after looking around the area, they think they might have a plan. So whenever the player has to enter the water, they would need to activate the crane arms from above. These crane arms were used to interact with and feed Xylosaurus without getting in the water. So when the player pushes the button, the arms would drop into the water. Then she'd swim up and attack the sudden movement of the crane. Whilst this was happening, the player could enter the water and swim towards the next platform. But they would need to be quick because the crane arm would eventually rise up out of the water. So the player makes their way across this large tank of water platform by platform. But even though they were above the water, they would need to be careful, because Xylosaurus can still strike from the water surface. And when this happens, they would need to back away as far from the water as they can. So after activating the crane arms and swimming to the platforms, the player reaches the final obstacle. The player would need to use their grab hands to move a large swinging platform. They would need to use this platform to reach the exit. They could grab onto multiple surfaces and drag the platform in any direction they want. But they would need to be careful because Xylosaurus can also attack this platform multiple times. Whenever this happens, the player would just need to stay as still as they can and avoid being knocked off the platform into the water. Eventually, after pushing and pulling the floating platform, they reach the exit to the water cell. They quickly jump through the hatch and make it out of Xylo's enclosure. The player can see her staring at them through the glass tank. She knows they've gotten away and isn't very happy about it. But something tells the player she also enjoyed having someone to play with. Xylosaurus hasn't seen a worker in a very long time, and although she was trying to eat the player, she also enjoyed the fun of trying to hunt down her prey. But for now, the fun was over, and the player makes their exit through to the next area of the facility. Hopefully they'll be safe and won't encounter any more of these musical dino toys, but knowing their luck, that just won't happen. And as to who will appear next is unknown. And until the next episode, we'll just have to wait and see what happens next. So I think that Xylosaurus would be an interesting addition to our roster of characters. I think her design is quite creepy, and the fact that she can swim under the water is also unnerving as well. The player would need to be extra careful, especially near the water's edge, because they'll never know when this terrifying dinosaur will leap out and get them. This gameplay segment would definitely keep the player on their toes, and the fear of what lies deep down beneath the water would be ever present, but hopefully the player doesn't fall victim to what lurks deep down beneath the watery depths. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, do be sure to comment down below what you thought of Xylosaurus and what you'd like to see going forward. Also, I just want to say a very big thank you to everyone who watched today's video. All the support with the likes, comments and shares is greatly appreciated. We're so glad you're all enjoying this new chapter we've made, and we can't wait to show you what happens near the end of this exciting new chapter. And lastly, just a very big thank you to all of our GamerTube members. If you'd like to be a GamerTube member, then do be sure to click the link down below or the join button as well. All the support we receive from our GamerTube members is greatly appreciated. But like we always say, you don't need to be a channel member to enjoy our content. It's only if you'd like to help out our channel that extra mile. But alrighty everyone, until our next Puppy Playtime character concept video, I'll catch you later, bye.